With the armor on the horizon and a lot of losses piling up recently for Cloud9, things are looking pretty bleak. But why are they losing? What is happening that's causing them to lose? Is it just the Opper? Actually, no. So I've been saying they need an Opper since October. Before they signed Boomich, I was saying that it's not going to work unless they're also bringing in an Opper. That said, every single one of these maps recently, they have been in and lost because of their decision making, both individual and team. They go out on solo missions all the time when they don't need to. They peek before the flashes pop. They're not good in clutch situations. They don't work together. The executes have gotten worse lately. They're bad at clearing spots. So many different things that they do completely blow rounds. They lose 4v2s. They lose to pistols constantly. They lose 2v1s. So many different things that can be attributed to just basic teamwork that a team with 4 major winners and the Rifler of the Year 2 years ago should not be making. If this was the ATK Cloud9 lineup, I would understand, and I did understand at the time. They made mistakes like this all the time too, but they were new to Tier 2/Tier 1. This team is an experienced veteran team that is continually making plays that don't make sense and cost them maps and rounds. So let me give you a plethora of examples of what I'm talking about. Here, 2v1, they're both 1 HP. They know exactly where the last player is. How are you going to win this? You both double swing to their left here. He'd have to spray transfer between them two. Instead, they both hide. One kind of peeks. Other one doesn't know where they is, and they both take 1v1 battles where they would have to headshot either way, even if they didn't get caught off guard. Again, here we have a 2v1 situation. Axel 1 HP, but they are split up. They take a fight. They're nowhere near trading. Axel has to run and dies. Here we have a 4v2 and we have the bomb. This is an unlosable round, right? So the first kill, they peek out and they die instead of making them come to the bomb, which even if you give that, like, okay, well now it's a 3v2, you know where they are. Hobbit has this lurk, sees the player jump out, and then runs. So immediately the player hears it. He shouldn't have run here. He should have just played the backstab or at least just had information. They now know where both players are and they have full bomb control. He doesn't even need to take that fight. Him just being back there is going to be a thorn in their side. Then again, they now have an Opper watching towards B and they have someone in jungle where bomb is. Again, an individual fight. They've now had 3 1v1s where instead of making them come to the bomb, they have peeked into them. A good play by Perfecto here to start. Gets the first kill, peeks, they get the second one. Now it's a 2v1 again. Their versus an Opper. So they know that the Opper is either a 1 kill and done or a pistol. They hear the Opper running towards truck. They don't peek. Perfecto decides to take his solo peek, now putting in a 1v1 versus 1 HP Hobbit. Lose the round. 4v2 here. They know one player is underneath heaven. They heard him jump. They even try to nade him right here. They know he's right here. They double peek. They swing exactly together to line up. So 2 die and they get the trade. Now whatever, that's fine. Now it's a 2v1. They know exactly where this player is. You can either jump peek with the MP9 and get the crosshair to go and then peek with the op and kill. Or you peek with the op first and then fly with the MP9 behind it. Either way is fine, but instead they both swing at the exact same time and he's able to get the headshot and just immediately be right on top of the jumping MP9. If they had staggered that just a little bit, that's an easy kill. So 2v1 situation, Chiron plants, Boomich just jumps straight into the water alone. Electronic is just standing heaven way behind the smoke. So Boomich dies, and then honestly, Electronic should have lost that fight. There's no teamwork together, they didn't jump out together, the utility wasn't in sync, just a complete miscommunication there. Here in overtime, they execute onto the site 5v5. 2 of them explode onto the site, but the other 3 are not involved. So it's 2 on the site, they both die. The player is very late coming out of bathrooms, and then the other 2 aren't even part of the play. Axel here gets 2 amazing kills and basically wins the round. But then instead of just holding and being a back pressure, decides to go for more. The second they kill him, the whole round is completely different. They now can move just forward. They end up nading the smoke with Electronic in it because Cloud9 had already done this play where they hide in the smoke. That leaves a 1 on site, 1 rotating from B, and the map is over. Here versus Mouse going up against a Force Buy. Boom, flash, double kill, 5v3. Round is over, right? All they need to do is just make sure they can trade off each other, don't get like overwhelmed, don't give them any guns, no big deal. Flash down below again. Electronic gets into a 1v1 fight, loses. Still whatever, that sucks. Shouldn't have done that, but all good. Then they go for another 1v1 fight in mid, doesn't pan out. 1 player on A site dies. So now they have full A control. So they then rotate another player over. They're completely spread out. 1 B, 1 cat, 1 coming A. The single player A. Peeks, dies. Now they again have full site control. And they're totally split up. 1 cat, 1 is rotating A. They come underpass. They grab guns. They're now fully kitted out in a 3v2 versus pistols, basically. You had a 5v3 versus ecos where they're just out on solo missions. You should be in positions where you can trade and not take individual fights everywhere. And we see this all the time. Round 16 versus pistols, 5v4. Torzy makes a good kill here and they trade it. Now it's a 4v3. All you gotta do here is just hit his sight. You don't have to do anything else. Hobbit plays this smoke fade, which I hate. He has played this position multiple times versus ecos, and it puts them in a really good spot. They're closer with either their MP9s, their CZs, their 5.7s. It's not a good spot to be, especially because he's all alone. So he dies, gives over an AK. They then hit an awesome shot, which never should have happened. But even still, they get a kill back, 2v2, just group up and plant. They do that and they're able to convert, but it never should have been that close. Mouse again versus full USP. Boomich is alone mid, dies, gives up a free AK. Then they execute onto the site. That AK gets 2 more kills, and they lose the round to full USPs. Now an Ancient versus full USPs again. They know it's an eco because they just won 2 straight rounds, and it's only 2-2. So they know that Mouse is probably going to stack, or they're going to rush, or they're going to do anything. Cloud9 sends 3 players mid, don't throw a single flash, so Mouse comes up, and they end up getting 2 kills for 1. Now that's awful in itself, but the round is still basically won. All Hobbit has to do here is run back and get the bomb and go to B. They already have B short. They just saw every single Mouse player in mid. They know it's clear. All Hobbit has to do here is get the bomb, cut their losses, go to B, then they have a 3v4. None of Mouse has armor. They're still going to win that with a good percentage chance. No, instead Hobbit knows there's 4 mid and solo peeks into it. Now Mouse has 3 weapons and the bomb. That decision just makes no sense to me. It was a completely thrown round by Hobbit not just taking the bomb to B when they know exactly where everyone is. This round 5v3 and you know where a player is because they peek and gets a couple bit of damage. You had gotten the kills pretty recently, so you can assume that one is A still. The other player, who knows? But even if there's 2 on the site, they're smoked off. So either wait or go as a team. Instead, they go for another individual fight. Brolin gets a kill. Then Brolin's able to peek again, get another individual fight. Still smoked off. Perfecto doesn't want to go through because he shouldn't. They should just either wait for it to end or move as a pack or go somewhere else. Again, so Perfecto comes out ramp, another 1v1 fight. Then the player comes out, the smoke. Hobbit is nowhere near coming out around the same time. Hobbit is way behind. So another 1v1 fight. And your 5v3 turns into a totally blown round. And you see something similar here. You have a 4v2 and you have full bomb control inside cave. Where can they be? They can either be mid, they can be lurking towards A, or they can be B ramp. There's no reason to do anything here other than hold the bomb and make them come to you. Instead, we decide to peek and die. Then we decide to double peek the op and another one dies and you get the trade. So now it's a 2 versus 1. And look at right here. Perfecto is literally a quarter second away from dying right here. And then they're able to double peek and get the kill. But you have the bomb in a 4 versus 2. Make them come to you instead of continually peeking into their crosshairs. Another round, you have a 3v2. Boomich is in a good spot. He just loses the fight. I'm okay with that. Axel peeks, gets 1. Now, if he just backs up right here and lets Electronic be able to peek from cave, they have an awesome crossfire setup here. Instead, Axel wide swings from it and dies from a direction he's not even looking. And now the round is so much harder because the bomb is not planted for Electronic. He now has to 2v1. So Electronic, instead of being able to hide, has to peek. He gets a good kill and then is put in a really tough 1v1 situation. Axel's first peek, get a kill. I understand that you're down numbers, you need to do something. But the second you get that, you are at a huge advantage. So those are just some of the individual decision-making problems that we see. But they also have issues like going before flashes. Their executes have also gotten worse lately. They miss a ton of utility versus Mouse, including on the final round, they missed the molly to the cubby where the person gets a triple kill and wins the whole map. Or they're so bad at clearing sites sometimes too. 2 people will be looking one way and they'll get shot in the back. Triple on Mirage. I swear every time someone is there, they get to shoot someone for free in the back. And they also just have bad communication in where players can be. For example, in this round, Torji just walks up middle and shoots Electronic in the back. Or there's rounds where Mirage, the T side, can just walk all the way window and shoot the person standing window right in the side. This happens more often than it should, that the team doesn't seem to be aware of where the other team can be. So all that said, I think that this team would be better with an Opper, but looking through all of these maps, so many rounds are thrown. We easily beat Maus if we just convert versus their pistols. We beat Rebels if we just convert our advantages. All of these things are just problems that veteran players should not be making. And it seems like they were better at this before. It seems like something has gotten worse. Maybe it's the stress. Maybe they feel more desperate. Maybe they just are like, we need to win, we need to win, we need to win. And that's causing a bunch of issues. That's highly possible. But welcome to Tier 1 Counter-Strike. These players have won a major. Is the communication crazy frantic? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the communication needs to get pulled back. I don't know. But for some reason, their decision making is continually losing them so many rounds. And shoring that up will allow this team to make deep runs even without an Opper. Follow me on Twitter at Cloud9_win. See you next time.